$4,000, they said. A ridiculous price. Was it too much? Was it too little? Nobody knows. And why aren't we making more power? Well, there's been a couple of important discoveries that have been made. But before we get into that, we have something very, very exciting that we wanted to show you guys. We have just got these redonkulous Mighty Car Mods playing cards. We're really, really proud of these. They are professional quality cards, sealed for your professional quality playing.
Custom. Every single card is different.
Every single card has an original artwork of a Mighty Car Mods car as featured in the Mighty Car Mods book. And we have these at the moment. We've got a special thing going on, which is just 24 hours, which is a packet of these cards plus an autographed copy of the Mighty Car Mods book. This is just now, we're doing this literally for like 1 to 2 days or when they run out. If you're watching this video in the future, that link is just going to send you to the cards. These will be available by themselves in the coming weeks, but at the moment, the only way to get these is with a copy of the Mighty Car Mods book, which you'll get a book that's autographed by us. We're about to do that as soon as we finish doing this video. You'll get the packet of cards, super collectible, and you'll get a Mighty Car Mods sticker. They're all there on the link. If you're watching it in the future, the link still works, but it'll just be going to a slightly different listing because that one there will sell out. We have, Martin, moved, I did the maths, 95% of our books. In fact, 96. There's only 4% of those books left. So if you were considering doing it, now is the time. Now let's kick into the good stuff. Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods. Now, last time, of course, you would have seen Twisted here absolutely dominating the dyno, but we did have a couple of questions come up about the car, which I will endeavour to answer. But the other thing, Martin, is some information has come to light.
Some information. Now, your dyno session was, we thought it would be about 45 minutes, didn't we?
Yeah.
Spin it up. Oh, that made some power go home.
Or, yeah, it exploded.
Yeah.
Because the car only cost $4,000.
Except it was like a whole day.
It was. It ended up being 6 hours at the beginning and then a couple of hours at the end. It was probably almost 8 hours on the dyno as well.
While you're on the dyno, I was fixing Too Sexy and getting live updates during it.
Yes.
So you can look forward to seeing the other end of the live updates.
I'm looking forward to seeing
videos.
that.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of questions that people were asking about the dyno, which I'm going to get to shortly about power figures. But back to this incredible information that has just come to hand from one of the most reputable automotive sources on the internet, and that is the Mighty Car Mods forum. I'd like to read you this. That's a public service announcement. We'll get to that one in the end. By
the way, he just said 2. So in the 2s, we have the convertible 323. The car that started it all is a 2. The motor compo is a 2, and so is my original Micra.
And wait till you see what the jokers are. Mighty Car Mods fans will get it.
Yeah,
we have the full suit, but then the jokers, you'll get it. That's awesome.
Sorry, back on topic.
About 10 different people have come forward and suggested they are the previous owners of this car. Some of them are some of them are bullshit. Like, let's be honest. They've been emailing and it's quite clear that
I owned it in Perth and I owned it in Malaysia.
Yes.
Don't think you did.
No, you didn't. But someone has come forward from the Mighty Car Mods forum here, and we've printed this out because I want to read this to you. But this one here, he's provided some proof that it's true. And what is in these documents is shocking, is nothing less than shocking. It says, hi, I was the previous owner of Twisted for about 5 years. The past 3 years or so,
Five. We have Zombie Proof, the Meteor, Lendeser Capri, and Turbos and Temples.
Amazing. For the last 3 years...
3 years, we have the roadworthy Nissan, Moose Handling, Lendeser Falcon, and the Super Turbo.
The best car we've ever sold.
So good.
And it says, anyway, for the last 3 years, it hasn't ran. It's been sitting under a car cover until I recently decided to sell it. I'm extremely interested to see what it was. It was a very dodgy car to drive, but will easily smash Too Sexy. Then he comes forward and says, it was one of the lowest static cars back in the day. And he'd said that, where was it? That it's a very dodgy car to drive.
Well, I think he said it had been tubbed. And we worked out that the back had been tubbed. The only way you're going to fit 19s under those guards is to actually just cut the inside of the guard out.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But here's the big one. Someone says, pretty dodgy to drive. Haha, great start. And then he says it's more the torque steer. First and second gear would just spin, but once it was in third, it would steer you off the road.
So torque steer.
Lol.
In case you've only ever driven rear-wheel drive cars, torque steer is because the power's going through the front wheels and they're also trying to do the steering. They're not in a straight line, so a lot of the time when there's a lot of power going through them, the tyres will fight each other, and it has the effect of pulling the steering around. And pulling the steering around when you're trying to point it straight and it's going that way, well, that's a gutter and that's a tree and that's a nunnery. So
but also, a lot of that depends on how your car's set up as well, and whether it kind of feels like it's tramlining, pulling you in certain ways, and the tracking as well.
So it's frightening. If you've never experienced it, it is pretty frightening.
It is frightening. The rear's being tubbed, etc. And then this is the bit. This is the bit. Somebody had said, must have been a challenge to drive and a pain to raise it for driving. Not my style, but matter of respect. And then he says, this is the clincher here. He goes, it wasn't my first choice of car. I used to have a camp, blah, 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 blah. Only reason I had it is because I picked it up cheap. I actually sold it for $500
Oh,
6 months ago.
Not to you.
Not to me. I sold it $500 for $500 6 months ago, and then it's done the rounds on Facebook. $500.
Yeah.
Now, we know now that engine and driveline setup is worth thousands.
If it works, though.
It does work.
And that we know that it works. But did it work when he sold it?
Well, here's the mystery. He said that it didn't work and it was under a cover. He goes into some details and he goes, it blew a head gasket. I got it fixed along with a few other small things, and then within a week it started playing up again. I got over it. I sold it without keys, no rego, not running, and I needed it gone. I no longer had the room for it.
Wow.
I was having battery issues. It kept draining them flat. I don't know why someone's put a battery in the engine bay when the battery is in the boot with an isolator underneath the car.
Yeah, like we noticed. So it's been rewired.
No, I think there's a battery in the boot.
No.
I think that, because he says the engine had over 10,000 spent on it. Mind you, this is over 10 years ago. It went hard with a good ECU, could control the boost a lot better, which we did with the Haltech.
Yep.
I can provide the VIN digit if you don't believe me. No, we do believe you.
See, even 150 kilowatts in this chassis would feel fast. 180, if it made 180 like apparently did at AutoSalon, and then 200 like the magical 200, that would have been
and now
crazy.
It's 223.
On
Here's
better
the bit,
fuel.
this automotive archaeology continues. It says, it only had the one battery in the boot. Since selling it, someone's put one in the engine bay. I'd upgraded the battery to help it from going flat, then eventually installed the isolator switch because it went flat and you couldn't unlock the car with the remote to get into the boot to charge the battery. You had to break into the car. It was running for a couple of years. I didn't drive it.
For a couple of years. We have the $50 stereo, the Peel Street Special, the Mark III Subaru, and the GTIR. How good's 4?
Should have never sold. Goodness me.
So good.
And then I was running for a couple of years. I didn't drive it. The front diff is locked and it's terrible to drive around corners.
You reckon it's locked, or do you reckon... See, this is the mystery. Is it locked, or does it have a really aggressive two-way LSD?
Well, 3 or 4 sources, including the person I bought it from, has said that it's locked. A locked diff.
You reckon? Welded? I don't know, man.
I mean, we're going to find it. I've driven it off a tow truck to the dyno. That's it. It has not been driven. Here's the last bit of
mysterious.
This.
Might have a car's
LSD
LSD
in it. It is a mystery. He goes, I've got a feeling they're going to have a hard time trying to register it. The engineering certificate's no longer valid. The laws have changed. That's a question mark, so we don't know. Car parks are the worst, etc. And some other dodgy things. But somewhere in here, Martin, is it does say... looks like someone's made a complete mess of the wiring in the boot where the battery used to be. Wasn't perfect, but it worked. Looked a million times better than having the battery in the engine bay. Also, the boot insert can come out. That big snaky-looking thing
just comes out.
Apparently, that comes out. All you have to do is remove the rubber seal, and the whole mold comes out.
Oh, okay.
Who knows what we're going to find in there? But apparently, there's a battery and an isolator. So. The car was sold for $500.
$500.
Sold for $500.
Brutal.
Some people had gone, why? And it was that thing. It's like it's broken. It didn't work. It had no rego, and cars are only worth what some idiot's willing to pay for them. That idiot was me. So that's the first stage of this. The next question that we got to is after the dyno one, and people were saying you should turn up more boost. It's only running 18. The engine can run more. There's a few technical reasons and safety reasons as to why that is the case. You seem like 5%. Like you want more. It's like you've had a whole meal, but you just want that extra little chocolate.
I'm happy with it because it's done and there's no... We thought we were going to encounter so many problems, so I've probably budgeted a bit more time and sort of in my head sort of thought about what's going to go wrong. It's withstood the test of time and everything in it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It made the power I expected, but probably on a bit less boost.
Yep.
So it's on sort of 15-ish pounds with ethanol.
Yep.
We've run out of sort of fuel system now, so it's got the 1000cc injectors. It's only got a small pump in it because remember at the time we went, we'll just slap a pump in it and
Yeah, yeah.
it is what it is, and we'll figure something out.
Yes.
But my problem is it made that power so happily and easily that...
You're like, what else is there?
Well, yeah.
You want to unwrap the banana, see what else is hidden in there.
I'm not looking for trouble, but I figure that it's got all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
So I thought we were going to run out of turbo, and that was going to be the problem.
Yeah.
But it's not. And now the problem is, it's not the injectors. The problem is a fuel pump.
Yeah. Which in a way is the best problem to have out of these options, because you drop the fuel tank, you put another pump in, and then we could be seeing up near 300 kilowatts potentially.
So then, whatever the turbo is, so the turbo is I know we said it's a TDO5 or TDO6.
TDO5, yes.
Yeah. It is a tiny bit of an unknown because we don't know what size wheels it's got in it. So that is going to be the limiting factor.
Yeah.
And you never know, it could run out at 220 or 230, or it could be some magic thing that might make 250 or 260 or 270.
Yeah, yeah.
For the cost of it, see, and then this is the problem. Then we go, we'll just slap a pump in it. They're cheap and that's easy to do. So
Cool.
you put a pump in it, and you go, oh, actually, if you put that pump in it, the factory pressure reg's not going to handle it.
Yeah.
So, then you need a reg.
Yeah.
Then you need a reg, so then you need all the fittings, or you probably need a different fuel rail.
And now we've got enough fuel to run more boost, so we can just put a bigger turbo in there, and then round and round you go into the wormhole of modifying cars. But from something that was bought for $4,000 as a complete unknown, it hasn't been driven before today. It hasn't been run for any length of time before today, other than getting on and off a tow truck. I expected that maybe there would be some compression issues with cylinders. I thought we'd be spewing out coolant everywhere. I thought maybe head gasket. I mean, last night I'm just lying in bed and thinking, like, how much is going to go wrong with this today? Yes, I was super worried before the dyno. I didn't actually expect it to make power. I thought we'd be able to do a couple of runs and then we would reveal that something was blown up, or there was head gasket, or just coolant exploding. But it turns out that it didn't.
I was surprised. So that means somewhere along the line between this forum owner and potentially the other 8 or 3 or 6. Speaking of 6, Old Man Sleeper, Marty's Mirror's a 6, the supercharged MX-5, and Steve-O, the Starlet Evo. That is one of my favourite car names we've ever come up with. Anyway, you know, the thing that they're going to run in with a car like this as well is front-wheel drive. So it's all well and good to go. We've got 220 kilowatts, 280 kilowatts, 300 kilowatts. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
It's just going to turn the front wheels into smoke. I mean, even 300 kilowatts in a rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
I mean, the 240 is a good example. Like, that will just smoke up the rear like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, this is just an internet numbers game, and it's one of the things we say a lot is that everybody's really, they kind of come up with this arbitrary number, like, I want 500 this, I want 400 that. It is all just bullshit, because none of those things are actually kind of based on any of the things that the owner wants of their car. They might just want a car that cruises along, they might want something fast, they might want a drag car. So comparing numbers and numbers is, you know, it's fine, everyone's going to do it. There's no use saying don't do it, but it's not going to give you any kind of indication of how fun or worthwhile that driving experience is.
Have a look at some, if you want to have a bit of a look around, look up front-wheel drive drag cars. There's ones that do 7s, like the off-brand Takumi, the JDM Electric Turd, Marty's Real Evo, and Moog's WRX. There's cars like that that do 7s that are just completely off their face. But look at the kind of gear that's in the front of them. Look at the size of the tyre, the size of the drive shafts, the gearboxes that are required. Like, that is some serious engineering to keep that thing gripping and going. So they have some real benefits, front-wheel drives, in terms of safety. I mean, that's one of the reasons they're so popular. There's 2 reasons. One is that they're easy to make because you put everything in the front, you do some bolts up and you send it down the line. The other one is that...
Except for this one.
Well, except
because
for...
this has been all-wheel drive converted.
Well, there's that. And the other thing is when you do get a bit messed up with your 60 kilowatts and you're sort of driving it crazy, it is prone to understeer, which is easy to correct because you slam the brakes on and the thing stops. Whereas if you've got all that power going to the back of the car is actually going faster than the front of the car, and that's how you get that oversteer. That's kind of how you initiate a power slide or a drift, because the back of the car is going at a greater speed than the front of the car and gets some twist. I'm sure some engineering person out there will give us some exact details that we'll all take a lot of note of, but that's the short of it. That's right. Martin, so there it is. In short, what's happening with you now? So this week we're going to see Too Sexy. So there's some modifications / fixes, upgrades, and, well, of course, the obvious one, which is the blown clutch.
Yeah.
That means currently it's like limited to 130 something kilowatts or 150, whatever we got to. I know, exactly, right? So that was
it's all about your experience, Martin.
It's about my experience.
If that's all the power you want, that's
150 is just
fine.
all it needs. That's enough, really. So pretty much spending the next couple of days and the last few days, it's a massive job. fixing it. So you're going to see that probably in the next episode, all going well.
And what I would like to say is a public service announcement to all the Mighty Mods fans and myself. I've really enjoyed 2Sexy's time on the show. It was a lot of fun. Like it'll be sad to see it go.
It's going to continue to be fun.
It will be sad to see it go because the car, like, it's been fun. It brought a lot of joy, and I would like to thank you and farewell it.
Twisted's going to get 8. 8, like the Subaru makeover, or the turbocharged MX-5, or the R34, or the Subaru Mark II.
Anyway, so of course there it is.
Eaten
if
more
you
than
want
8,
to grab
isn't it?
a copy of the Mighty Car Mods cards, we do have these on our shop. There's a special deal where you get an autographed book and the cards and a Mighty Car Mods sticker. Click on the thing. There it is.
Dude, look what time it is.
I know.
It's 9. 9, like the Mugaroo, or the Euro Precision Porsche, or the Lenderseride RX-7. That was fat. Or the twin-charge leaf blower Daihatsu. That was so good, man.
Thank you very much, everybody. There will be another video out this week, which is, of course, the
fix of 2Sexy.
The final, final gym pumping.
It might be a big one.
Of
Just saying.
2Sexy before it gets smoked. It's going to go out properly. We will be revealing, of course, soon what is happening to the losing car once we've worked that out. But it will be devastating. And then, I guess next season, we can continue working on Twisted, get more power out of it, do, that, whichever car stays, and deserves to keep a place in the Mighty Car Mods garage.
Totally.
So, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for watching. Farewell to 2Sexy in advance. And there it is.
To find out what is
everybody.
between 10 and Ace and Jokers, you might just have to get yourself some cards.
Whoa!